Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Life as a Chad YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. So I came across this. You guys, I'm telling you, you never fucking know what you're going to come across on YouTube. Most of the time, I come across things either just downtime from work, or it's the weekend and I'm relaxing from being done officiating, doing YouTube videos, the gym, whatever the fuck. uh I like taking baths. I'm definitely a bath guy. Don't want to give you guys any weird ideas here, nothing like that, but I definitely am a bath guy, especially in the hot water. And I'll scroll through these YouTube videos, a lot of conservative content, things like that. And I came across today some reactions, in particular from Andrew Wilson from The Crucible, on this whole idea or place or thing called Beartaria. And I'm really struggling to not bust out laughing about this because I really do feel terrible for I do. I feel terrible for the people who got involved with this. I really, really do. I really, really do. I do. And if you're not aware of what Beartaria is, I need to point you in the direction of a one Owen Benjamin. Now, off the bat, I want to let you guys know that I do not have some like dog in the fight. I don't dislike Owen Benjamin or like him. I remember when he was on Louder with Crowder, I did like his content. I thought he was very funny. And he's one of those guys. I've known a few guys like this in my life that is just what he's just one of those guys, just very, tends to be more funny, and they're so intelligent that they're funny. And comedians oftentimes are some of the most intelligent people you'll find, because when you're a very intelligent person, it's hard not to get to an ending point, which is viewing the world through a kind of comedic lens because of how crazy shit can be in this world. So I always thought he was a funny guy, and for the most part, I thought that he was attached to the truth, that he liked telling truth and cared about the truth. I remember I saw a video from him where he was talking about why he left Louder with Crowder. And this is, I've warned you guys about this many times. 90% of the people on YouTube are really just, whether they're conservative or liberal, are really just in it for the clicks and for the clout that comes with it and things like that, rather than having a deep desire for the world to start changing in the way that they would like to see. You'll find some people, and a lot of these people are really good at camouflaging it, at making you think that they are sincere. And I would even go a step further and say that I think they think that they're sincere on a certain level. But at the end of the day, in this world, it always comes down to two things: what you see, because there's a lot of people who are good at talking the talk, but their actions state differently. So you always need to watch the actions that people put out into the world. They're the actual fruits of their behavior and labor. But the other thing is that in the end, human beings have one or two primary motivators for themselves. And what that primary motivator is can change on the individual, the person. And you see that with YouTubers, they will convince themselves that they care, let's just use men's right, that they care an awful lot about men's rights. And that's the camouflage. And they can even convince themselves that that is the case, that they care about that above all else. But 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. And you end up just seeing them making the same content, the same rotational, get men frustrated, get men blaming women, get men thinking that they need to make improvements, that they need these men's rights activists or red pillars to help them improve they will not be able to improve their life or get women or be successful unless they take said course. And it's just constant feedback loop. But nonetheless, human beings have primary motivators for why they do things. So listen, guys, I'm just saying that with regards to what I'm going to be getting into with Owen Benjamin and my take on all of this. Guys, you need to be very careful. And my best advice would be to watch the fruit of somebody's actions, what they tend to actually do, rather than the words that they say. Because saying shit is easy. It's fucking easy. So anyways, but the bottom line is Owen Benjamin, there's been stuff that he's done, at least on a entertainment level, that I have enjoyed. There's, and so I really have no dog in the fight. I remember I saw a video from him because I used to wonder, I'm like, damn, what the fuck happened to Owen on Louder with Crowder? Like Owen was like a mainstay on Louder with Crowder. Like he was becoming one of the guys on that show. And I see a video, I don't know how long ago, it's probably like a year or two ago, where Benjamin says that basically Steven Crowder is this totally different guy behind closed doors. Okay, well, since then there has been some evidence that would suggest that statement is not total bullshit. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's enough to complete. I mean, you've had the recording of Steven Crowder talking to his wife. There was, do you guys remember Zen Computer or the fucking German computer guy who had the computer? He was the whole computer shtick on Louder with Crowder, where he would talk like this. I can't even fucking do it. He would talk like, I can't even do it. He did a fantastic job talking like a computer. It's actually a pretty fucking funny bit, to be honest. And that guy all of a sudden was not on Louder with Crowder. So you have that. Now, the recording with his wife, I've reviewed that myself, and I did not find it to be as bad as some were trying to make it out to be honest. But that's just me. So I say all that to say that Owen saying that, what didn't seem to be the most baseless thing that somebody could say. And so, I'm like, okay, Owen maybe is not that, he's maybe okay. But the bottom line is, guys, I have never really watched Big Bear's content a ton. I mean, I've watched some of his shit, but more of the people that have influenced me, I would say, would be Gavin McInnes. I've watched a lot of his content. Steven Crowder, I watched a lot of his content early on. Steven Crowder is like who I was when I was 16. 17, like that type of conservative, not knowing the ins and outs, the particulars, the infighting, the different groups that exist within conservatism. I thought we were all on one team, conservatism, yes, and we were all moving forward, and all for one and one for all. That's bullshit. So I watched Steven Crowder in my late teen years, early college years. And, I mean, I agree with Steven Crowder with like 90% of what he says. But again, when you get older, you start to realize that particulars matter much more than you would think they would. I've mentioned this numerous times on my channel. There's the difference between paleoconservatism and neoconservatism. And that's kind of the particulars I'm talking about. Milo Yiannopoulos, I would say I did consume a decent amount of his content. A lot of what he said, I agreed with, not all of it, obviously. And I don't agree with his fucking behavior on a majority of things. But the Milo who would go on campuses, who would, just seem fearless, who would fucking go after it with feminists and shit like that. Like, that was the content that I thought was great. This kind of male, he defended men's rights. And by the way, I hate that whole sentence, men's rights, because guys, Andrew Wilson makes this argument why men and women are not equal. Men bestow rights to women and to other men. Like, if all men were to wake up tomorrow and say, nope, we're not going to live, if even 20% of men were to wake up tomorrow and say, we're not going to live in a democracy, there wouldn't be a democracy anymore. So this concept of men's rights is kind of a misnomer. So, but I did like him sticking it to feminists and shit like that. I would say, Nick Fuentes, I like his content, especially of late. Trying to think any other major individuals, but that would pretty much be it. Never a big Ben Shapiro guy, never a big like Daily Caller and all that bullshit kind of guy. It's the Daily Caller. The two main conservative sites are the Daily Caller and what's the other one? There's the one that's run by the guy who worked at Fox, and then there's the one that's run by like Ben Shapiro, and so whatever. So, and I've told you guys, I'm a paleo conservative, I'm a Christian nationalist, and that's just what it is. So, but Owen Benjamin is a guy that I watched just kind of by way of watching these other people, because he would be interviewed by them and, shit like that. But I never, because I have been a conservative all my life, and I have seen my entire life grifters coming into the conservative movement. So anytime you have somebody like Owen Benjamin, who was one of the biggest libtards, worked in Hollywood and is from New York, and his parents are professors, like, that's a lot of red flags, folks. A lot of fucking red flags. Okay. So I've always been like, kind of my take on it is, like, there's a lot of conservatives who, when somebody leaves the left or something, they're like, fucking freaking out that they freak out about two things: when a black person is conservative, or black or gay person is conservative, or when a liberal leaves, like they did with Tulsi Gabbard, leaving to be more conservative. Me, I don't give a fuck about that. It's like, oh, that's nice, but I'm still gonna, keep an eye and make sure nothing crazy happens. But so anyways, Owen Benjamin starts this, I haven't seen a ton of his content in a while, and I saw this video about a year ago from Anthony Cumia, where he is diving into the fact that Owen Benjamin is like a fraud, and building this whole thing called Beartaria in Idaho or some shit. because if you don't know, Owen Benjamin, he came from Hollywood. His next move was Louder with Crowder and kind of doing his own thing, more conservative comedy. Then he leaves Louder with Crowder. They do not part ways amicably. And, he's still kind of doing his own thing. Then he finds his way to Idaho. And now he's like this, super rural guy with cows and goats. And, he's a goat fucker and all this. No, I'm kidding. As far as I know, he's not. And I see this, I start hearing what this is, and Beartaria is basically this reaction to the and the shutting down of society. And on its face, I understand it. I do. And I have asked myself that as well. Like when I see liberalism getting a hold of all these institutions, and there's like, you feel so suffocated by all the liberalism and you think to yourself, well, we'll just start our own shit. But any somewhat intelligent person realizes that that's not a real solution to the problem, because all that would need to happen is for liberals to follow you to your successful society, and it would start again. So you have to be willing to put your foot down and fight for what you believe in and hold your ground and say, no, we are not going to give any more ground. We are going to take back these institutions that we built up, and we are going to assert our dominance. Okay. Alpha style. But on its face, it makes sense, or not make sense, but I get it. And so basically, Owen has a stream where he started kind of laying the crumbs. Let me see if I can get it pulled up here. He starts laying the crumbs to this Beartaria thing. And he has a stream, and his wife, out of nowhere, who I believe also worked in Hollywood, and out of nowhere, just surprisingly, gives him a phone with she just happens to find the perfect place for them to basically have this plot of land where they can build this kind of home away from home, this escape from modernity, from liberalism, from really America when you think about it. And he's doing this stream. His wife shows him that thing, and he says, I didn't want to basically start shilling for Beartaria and looking into places that I thought would be good plots of land, but my wife just happened to found this perfect place. Let me just get it going here. I mean, it's wild, guys. It is wild. And fast forward, let me see if I can just find it real quick, right quick. I know, guys, I know a lot of you guys sub to the channel say, Nolan, Mr. Chad, I wish, the long form content is good, but sometimes it's good to just be able to cut out the extra stuff. And I agree with you. Sooner rather than later, I'm going to carve out time to edit my videos, because like I've told you, we're coming for it all, baby.
Allowed to come up here. And
so here it is, guys. This is
which one's
from the Crucible, and he right now is reacting to Anthony Cumia talking about this.
Sounds a little more grifterish. And then he talks about project.
Yeah, exactly. There should probably be a class action lawsuit based around this. There really should be. There's no way that this guy should just be able to walk away with that.
Action. Like, oh, the projection of people, they tell you you're doing things when it's actually them doing it and trying to project it. It's like, yeah, that's what you did. That's exactly what you just.
Yeah, it's true, man. So just to finish what happened over the course of the stream. So his wife pulls that up and he just happens to find this perfect plot of land in which they're going to buy it, but it's going to be open to all big bears, all bears from across the country, unvetted. You know, they could be serial killers. They could be murders. They could be, you know, grapsis, and who knows? But as long as they're a big bear, they'll be allowed onto this beautiful plot of land. Really cool idea. I'd love it if it could be true. And all of a sudden, people are donating fucking like 10 G's, 4 G's for an idea that isn't even fully like done yet, like fully made yet. Like it's like a hypothetical idea. It'd be nice if we could. It's not even like set in stone. There's no, dude, can you imagine dropping 10 G's? It would be hard for me to drop 10 G's on something that I have a full like plan for, a full scale plan for, something that I feel confident in doing and seeing through and giving my time to. Just giving 10 G's to some fucking guy on the internet is, to me, that is wild, guys. That is wild. And that's what happened. So this guy, I mean, he literally has a documentary on this. He has a documentary on this. Now, listen, guys, I'm not like Andrew Wilson and I'm not like Anthony Cumia. I'm not trying to turn this into, I'm not doing this because I dislike Big Bear, okay? Although this does seem like a shitty thing to do, and I think that the evidence of him being a grifter / somebody who, guys, you'd be silly if you did not understand that Owen Benjamin understands the niche that is conservatism. There's a lot of money in it. It's a niche. And when you can carve out an audience within it, you know, it can be very profitable. Okay. But that's just by way of us living in a capitalistic society. That's how it'll always be. But it would be foolish to think that Owen does not understand that there is this niche, and, you know, not only is it a niche, but like, it's like something where people have like personal attachment to it. Like they want the country to do better. They want these things to change. They are so desperate for things to change that they're willing to give 10 G's to Owen Benjamin, a guy who used to work in Hollywood, to carve out a plot of land. Now, mind you, like I said, this was going on during the, and a lot of people were very frustrated. There was no end in sight. It was, you know, it seemed hopeless. All of it did. But fuck, guys, guys, I mean, just think about it logically. You really think who is going to oversee Beartaria? Who is going to stop it from becoming a ghetto? What is going to happen if liberals or fucking, you know, like the Beartaria gets put to the wrong people and they go through and the whole process and camouflage themselves as big bears, and they get into said society or area and totally fuck it up. Like I could foresee that happening, no problem. How is it gonna, who's gonna protect it? How is there going to be some sort of verification process? Are you seriously going to allow just anybody who wants to just, I mean, what's to stop people from saying, going to Beartaria and saying, let's just say it's at full capacity. Okay. And one person shows up and says, no, I have as much right to stay here at Beartaria because I donated. And Owen Benjamin said that we can come here anytime we want and have this communal society, so I have as much right to it as you, partner. What's to stop that from happening? What's to stop somebody from living there indefinitely? Crazy. So let's fast forward a little bit.
Couple $100 myself. I just have to sell everything, including my own dick. Want to know what else we can do to fundraise? Mine and Amy's books. This will motivate me to finally do the book and Amy's book. I hate taking money for free. Just know that. No one's ever given me money for free. Like, I will. This emailed you? Yes. Beartaria!
And it begins.
Dude. Wow.
Beartaria! Cooktoria! Cookie-toria! The Cookie-tarians.
211 acres. Shooting range. Theater.
Like guys, let me ask you this. Here's the real question. What makes Owen Benjamin, aside from the fact that he lives in Idaho, which really doesn't matter at all, that fucking means nothing. What makes Owen Benjamin the authority to, or not just the authority, but even qualified to handle said money and be given said money to run said society? Folks, you realize we have full-blown elections for that? These people put more thought into who would become president, in which their vote, all they can put forth is a fucking measly vote. But they'll give 10 G's, something that they put blood, sweat, and tears into earning, to this guy. Now, again, this is not against Owen Benjamin, but again, like, what? I cannot, like, if you're buying insurance, hopefully you're looking at the qualifications of the person who's selling you insurance so you can be confident that they know what the fuck they're, and that they are some authority on selling insurance. It basically seems like these people gave money to Owen Benjamin just because he's Owen Benjamin, and they were so desperate for a different type of society than the one that currently exists in America. They let their fandom and their kind of the emotions that were running high at this time affect them. That's basically what happened, guys. This is crazy. I cannot believe this story. This is fucking crazy.
Campfire. Training for kids.
I'll tell you exactly what this will turn into. This is, and it's already turning into this. This is going to turn into land that Owen Benjamin owns, that his family gets to live on 300 plus days a year. It's his. And all he has to do is allow a few fucking fans to be able to stay. But this is his land, and it's going to be his. In 20 years, people are going to fucking forget about Beartaria, and he's going to be left with 1 point, probably like a 4 or 5. Let's just say that it adds value over the course of the time. He's going to be left with $6 million, $10 million plot of land that he didn't earn one bit. Fuck.
The sky's the limit. It would take a while to get going. Not that long. It's completely functional. Guys, I really think we can do it. I really fucking think we can do it. Piano album. I'll do all that in the next day. Here's my book. Here's my piano album. Beartaria. Everything at Unbearable's merchandise will be $400. Holy shit, we could sell shit from unauthorized.
Man, this is bullshit. Once in a lifetime opportunity for these delicious cookies.
Well, there you guys have it,
Not a
guys. That's
single person.
Beartaria. Listen,
Not one
I
person.
don't. I just wanted to vent on this a little bit more. You can look into it more yourself. I cannot believe. I cannot, conservatives, for as much as people say, or us conservatives like to believe that we're smarter than the left, and that we have more logic and more understand, what kind of morons give money like this to Owen Benjamin just to give him said money? I guess people do it on YouTube all the time with the donations, but guys, we're talking like max less than, what's the, most people are given like $5-10 donation. I mean, that's understandable, and they're getting a service in return. Like, the YouTube creator is making content and you're giving a tip basically as a thanks for the entertainment that they have provided you. I mean, you guys give tips to fucking people at restaurants who are not nearly as entertaining or good as YouTuber. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. I am stunned by this. This is absolutely crazy. Beartaria, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. DBAP, don't be a pussy, Willow. Facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you, King. See you, Kings, next time. Christ is King. Peace.